All right, we're heading up to the Bountiful B today. About 1.5 miles from my house. And then we're going to go up to Buckland Flats. There's the staging area. We're going to go up this one side, and this is pretty steep right in here. This is about 25 degrees going up right here. There's Antelope Island and Great Salt Lake in the back, and the B you can barely see right there. We are right smack dab on top of the B. We'll get a shot of that on the way down. This was a motorcycle mecca when I was growing up back in the 70s and 80s. It actually looks a lot better now. It used to be really tore up. There was nothing green growing up here. And this part right here, this gets pretty steep. This is probably the steepest part. This little bump right here gets to 32 degrees right here. What it registers, that's pretty steep. Yeah, fun little climb up here. And then when we're done, we're going to turn around and come back down. The road was washed out in 2018, and when we get back down, we're going to go up the road, go up to Buckland Flats. It's really one of the very, very few on the whole Wasatch Front that takes you to the top of the mountain. We are not going all the way to the top of the mountain. We're just to the Morgan Overlook or Bountiful B. It's Skyline Drive up top is still closed. It does have some snow up there, and the gate's not open up top. Just awesome. There's Bountiful right there. I just live right there, just past that first green tall park. It's really too bad that little skinny track there for decades was a meadow, and somebody decided about 6 or 7 years ago to just cut across it. Now everybody shoots across it. The road up there to the left just was where Dead Man's Curve is. We're going to go right by that. Shot of it again. We're going to go up a little bit and then turn around because of the washout. Still a fun, gnarly little road here. We're on our way down now. We're going to drive around this little meadow up top. In the evening, about 50% of the time, you're going to see deer up here, especially on the edge of the meadows by the scrub oak and the trees there. We didn't see any today. We were still too early for that, but around dusk, pretty good chance. There's a couple of my boys, and I've got my grandson, one of my grandsons in the back. Here's some pretty neat views of the Salt Lake Valley, the Ochre Mountains there. There's Bountiful Temple. Boy, we just live in a great place here. Real fun stuff, just right next to the big city, big metropolis, Antelope Island. There's Antelope Island in the Ochre Mountains. This first little drop's pretty hair-raising if you're not used to it. Yeah, that drops down pretty fast right there, as you can tell. Boy, really cool. We live in a great area. Over the B. Gotta love Bountiful. Gotta love the Salt Lake Valley. There's the staging area again in Bountiful Boulevard. Sessions Mountain, Ward Canyon. It's pretty steep coming down here. It's not real bad. It's like 20, probably 22 to 26 degrees right here. A couple of vehicles going up towards Skyline Drive. We're going to head up there as soon as we get down. Here we go, heading up. We're going to go up to Buckland Flats. Skyline Drive gate's closed once you get up to the Morgan Overlook. The Buckland Flats gate is open. But here we go. A little bit of asphalt paving there, and then it disappears right around this turn. Take a wrong turn, you end up in somebody's backyard, or maybe back bedroom even. Surprising how many vehicles we've helped out, especially on this stretch right here when there's snow on the ground. Go right off the road. There we go, going up. My boy's not, to him, he doesn't seem like he's riding in the Jeep. He's playing a video game. He's driving the drone up the whole way. We're making a turn here. And just to our right, there's the Dead Man's Curve up here. Now back in the day, Dead Man's Curve, this road, there was no guardrail and it was half as wide as it is now. And there's several vehicles went down right here. Here's Dead Man's Curve. That was very hair-raising right here. Some good Samaritans have pulled out a bunch of those vehicles that went off there. Back in the early 70s, a 21-year-old went off that. So we did stop here because we wanted to zoom in on the road. Here's the Old Ward Canyon Road. We wanted to go up all the way, but we knew about this washout that happened in 2018. And over Memorial Day weekend, there was a brand new Jeep. Tried making it through there. It's about as wide as your arms are stretched out. Here's a side-by-side. He's going down to check it out, but he tried to go across it and rolled down it. I do have some pictures, but they are about 8 years old, and I didn't dig those pictures out. But yeah, they rolled right down toward those trees there. Fortunately, no one was hurt. If I remember right, there was an 18-month-old in the Jeep too, and came out okay. And here's some bike trails they put in, I don't know, under 10 years ago. So we wanted to zoom in on those. There's a few good bike trails. Head all the way south over to Wild Rose Trails and Ensign Peak. You know, and we're actually hidden, kind of snaking through the Bountiful downhill. There's Antelope Island again. That's a hidden gem out there. Not that many people go out there, really, because as many people as live here in the valley. There we are. This is a great place. It's a big wide turn here. This is a great place to get out and just look at the valley at nighttime and the snow, or even in the daytime, sunsets. There we go. Kind of bizarre, there needs to be a guardrail there. I don't know how you go off. Except for in the snow, when there's snow, that could be an issue, but you just got to be careful. Just a great drive. Beautiful valley. Yeah, air down in my driveway just makes this so much more smoother going up. Turnouts where people like coming up and shooting. Now this turn here is right above the V, Viewmont's V, the Viewmont High. Good place to park and walk out there 100 yards or so. Be right over by the V. Nice great view right there. Yeah, the V's right there somewhere. Boy that was flying the drone right here lost signal. I wonder if my tire got in the way and it just ended up going down and skipping off the road and ended in a ditch. We turned around and a couple of cars shot up. Luckily it was in the ditch. Here we come to the rescue. Crazy these Jeeps can drive upside down. They're amazing vehicles. Alright. No damage, we're on our way again. Alright, we're coming up on Buckland Flats. We didn't know if the gate was open. And sure enough, the gate was open. It did say open at the bottom, but you never know. So the gate's to the left, kind of straight, but we're going to go right to Buckland Flats. You know, this was a really popular place in the 80s. They decided to build some restrooms up here. It's nice camping up here, and then over time the restrooms got vandalized so much they ended up taking them out. They were some nice restrooms with lights. And this Buckland Flats was built by the CCC over 100 years ago. Coming up on 100 years, I guess. Well, it's dropping down into to the old Ward Canyon Road here now. Yeah, if it wasn't washed out, we could take this road all the way down to the beach. But instead, we did the bottom part, came up. Now we're going to go down it, probably fill the washout. But no, giving me a heads up here, we actually came across the vehicle that was overheating, and we had to turn around and help him get out. Here in the summertime, when everything's green, it just grows over. It's like you're driving in a tunnel. And in the fall, when the leaves are all changing, just beautiful colors. This is a really pretty drive in here. It's a beautiful drive right now. overheating. They were stopping about every 100 feet, so we ended up turning around, getting in front of them, and towed them up the hill, and then now they're able to go downhill, and they didn't have to stop at all. They drove all the way down side by side. They were a little worn out and frustrated. They did have water, but nothing to eat. We luckily had 2 boxes of crackers. Gave them 1 box of crackers and a big chunk of cheese, and my boy had some great candy bars and snacks we passed on to them. It was nice to be able to help them out on the road. Coming up on the B, on the switchback here, we're just going to go down this little side road here, our last little bit. We're running out of drone power, so we're just going to do this little inner part of the hairpin turn. So steep little spot here, kind of fun. We'll probably come up here every couple of weeks during the summertime, spring and summertime, until the snow hits. So fun to get out and have just some great views and tons of fun, beautiful sunsets up here. But we're on our way to get something to eat now. All right, the Buckland Flats, Skyline Drive, always a great fun time.